Poppets! Thanks for joining me today. As Jessie told you, I am going to go into how I met Judy. I've been talking about this for a while, saying I was going to do this video, and then I was like, you know, no, Judy got quiet, so let's just leave Judy alone. But Judy cannot stay quiet, and yes, I needed a beer to be able to tell this story, because Judy, for me, is quite traumatic. Let's get started, shall we? I met Judy. Well, I didn't really meet Judy, okay? First of all, let's get that straight. Oh, by the way, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, it's because they are building a new bridge outside for all my trolls to live under. Really, they're building a bridge. I'm sorry. Sorry. I started vining around May 2013, and it was a lot of fun at first. I don't want to overshadow this video, this funny story, with what happened between Curtis and Jessie, but as everyone knows who has kept up, Curtis raped Jessie in the summer of 2013, and after that happened and I became friends with Jessie and I found out what happened, and it's a really long story, but I became very vocal on Vine, and when I did that, you know, I lost a lot of followers and I lost a lot of friends because I said the truth and I spoke out and I called that fucker out. But that's a whole different story. But that is part of this, because when I did call out Curtis and I did talk about it all the time, along came this Viner that I didn't know who she was at all, and it was Judy. Judy's name on Vine is Def Diz, by the way. Not that Jessie's afraid to call her by her name, but you know, the point of Jessie's video was not to bully Judy or to cause any problems for Judy. She was just telling it as a funny story because that's what she does. She's a YouTuber. And since then, Judy has just about lost her mind. It's been probably a month, almost 2 months since Jessie put up that video, the first video about Judy, and ever since then, Judy just can't let it go. It's just a fucking shitty mess. But what do you expect? It's Judy. But now I'll get into all about how I met Judy. It is a long, convoluted story, and you're probably going to wonder, why did I even try to be friends with her to begin with? But I'll get into that. Don't judge me. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 beers for this story. Good God damn. So, I'd say around the summer 2013, I started getting these trolly comments from a person named Def Diz. Def Diz equals Judy. Matter of fact, let me write it down for you. Okay? And I started noticing this person named Def Diz just kept showing up in my comments. It was just like shitty fucking comments. And I'm like, who is this person? And like, what is her problem? To be honest, when she started commenting, it was around the time that a bunch of people were commenting nasty shit on my Vines, because the whole Curtis Lepore Jessie Smile situation had just come to light, and you know, I had been very vocal about it, and so of course I was getting a lot of shitty comments, mainly from, you know, Curtis's followers and fans and fucking teenage vampire army. And as much as I'd like to say that it was just kids being like that, it wasn't. Adults were being like that also. Case in point, good old Judy. I don't remember exactly what all she said because it was a long time ago, but I know that it was along the lines of, why don't you shut the fuck up about this? We're all sick of hearing about this. If this is all you can Vine about, then find something else to talk about. I'm like, I don't even know who this chick is or what her problem is. I remember I said something back to her like, you know, mind your own business, or quit coming on my fucking Vines and leaving shitty comments. Just get the fuck off my Vine, you know, go away. Something like that. So I just blocked her. I think once I blocked her, I just completely forgot she existed. It wasn't until months later that all of a sudden, like, she resurfaced. As many people know now, I was one of the co-authors of Vine Stories, How an App Changed Our Lives, volumes 1 and 2. Those are books based on Vine. There's stories about Viners. Me and Yolanda Baker co-authored those books, and we put them out about 2 years ago. And in Vine's usual fashion, which is why I'm not on Vine anymore, everything is a fucking shit show on Vine. If you were to cure cancer, people on Vine would tear you down for it. They will tear you down for anything. It's just a fucking shitty, awful place. But everybody knew, you know, a lot of people knew that I had been one of the co-authors of the Vine Stories books. Well, then I started talking about a novel that I had been working on that I was finally going to put out. Now, the name of my novel is The Monitor. Way to promote yourself, Jen. And I started writing it at around 2012. I did a lot of work. It took a lot of time, and I'm like, you know what, even if I just self-publish it, At least I put it out there and people will see it. So I started talking about my novel on Vine, and you would have thought that I said, hey everybody, I'm gonna go out and kill some kittens in the street if you all would like to watch. What is it about Vine that whenever you say, hey, I'm doing this or I'm working on that, everybody wants to tear it down? Like they don't even know anything about it, but they just want to tear it down. What's up with that? I will never understand that. I just finished my beer, I gotta get another one. What's up? And people came out of the woodwork just to tear me down for writing a book. I should have just ignored people when they were bashing me for having the audacity to write a book. But you know, I guess at that time it was just kind of fresh, and I guess I was a little sensitive, you know, because I had done a lot of work on it, and I thought when I put it out I'd get positive feedback, but it was just like all these people just tearing me down, and I didn't understand. And one of those people tearing me down was Judy. Judy just seemed to have the biggest fucking problem with the fact that I had written a book and I was talking about it on Vine. And I'm like, well, who is this person and what the fuck is her fucking problem? There's another dude that just harassed the shit out of me on Vine, and I dare not speak his name because every time I do, that fucker just burrows out of his little hole and comes looking for me. So I won't say who I'm talking about, but this one particular Viner, every time I turned around, he was making Vines about me and tagging me in them and just talking complete shit. Just crazy as fuck. I think Vine is like the stomping grounds for the most fucktarded people on the planet. This dude was just constantly harassing me, constantly making Vines, just trying to irritate the shit out of me. And then there was another dude that we were gonna put in the second book, but he didn't get his stuff in on time. He didn't get his releases in on time. I had to send it to him twice, and he was holding us up. So I said to him very nicely, hey, you're not gonna be in this book. I'm sorry, you know, you didn't meet the deadline. And then all of a sudden, he started making shitty Vines about me. So it was around the time that we started promoting the second Vine Stories book that all of a sudden these people came out of the woodwork. Now they're mad again because, you know, Jen Den's putting out another book. God forbid, let's just all be bitches and assholes and get sand in our vagina because we didn't write a book about anything and we've never done anything, but let's just tear down the person who has. Basically is how that goes. And lo and behold, every time one of these people would Vine about me or tag me in one of these Vines, who would show up? Judy. Judy would just go on and on and on about how I exploited people, how I just used people so that I could write books. She'd say stuff like, you're not the only one who writes books. And I'm like, I don't think I said I was the only person who writes books. I remember all this bickering and arguing just went on and on. But I have a huge character flaw, and that flaw is that I forgive people way too easily. And I forget things that people have done to me way too easily. And over time, with all this bickering and arguing, I remember one day I just suddenly started joking with her because it just seemed to me that it was just nonstop bullshit and I was getting pretty sick of it. I just got to the point where I was like, this is really ridiculous and this has got to stop. And the more I joked, I could see that she was softening up and kind of like giving up on the whole I'm mad at you for no reason thing. Over time, we talked and eventually we got to the point where we got along. We even got to the point where we started VMing each other. For a few months, she and I talked a lot. I found that maybe I misunderstood her on some points, and I think she saw that she totally misunderstood me on many points. And we would talk a lot about lots of things. I didn't mind talking to her and being her friend. I have to say that my close friend Sarah and several other people were like, why are you talking to this person? Like, this person is insane, legit, and I don't really think you should be talking to her. There was just something about Judy that said to me, she needs a friend. She would talk about this boyfriend that she was seeing that was from Vine, and she would mention her boyfriend frequently. And finally I was like, okay, well, who's your boyfriend? And she was like, well, if I tell you who he is, you can't say anything because he doesn't want anybody to know that we're seeing each other, which I thought was very strange. She ended up telling me who he was. And yeah, he didn't acknowledge her at all on Vine. It was really sad. And that also made me sad for her. And so when my friends would say to me, hey, you don't need to be talking to her, she's legit insane, you need to probably not speak to her, I just told them that I felt like she needed a friend. So it had been a while that we had been talking, we had been getting along. I had sent her a copy of my book, she had sent me some of the things that she was writing, and we were getting along, I have to say. I did start to see that she was somewhat normal and she wasn't this crazy person that I thought she was, which turns out I was very wrong about that. Bitch is crazier than a shithouse rat. So I said, hey, I'm gonna be in LA, I'm gonna be seeing Jesse, do you think you wanna come and see us and we'll hang out? And I won't tell the whole rest of that story because you know the rest of that story because you've seen Jesse's videos on Judy. I just have to say that she embarrassed the ever-living fuck out of me that night. You know, Jesse's letting me stay in her house, and then I go and invite somebody over there because I feel like, hey, we can all have a good time together and just hang out. And then Judy acts like a crazy person. But it was awful. That whole night, I just felt like I was babysitting her. I felt like I was the middleman, like trying to keep Jesse from killing her and trying to keep Judy from just fucking bombing the place. I woke up and I was so angry. I was just so mad about how she had acted. I was pissed off at myself for inviting her over there. I was pissed off at myself for not listening to my friends when they said, hey, you probably shouldn't be talking to this girl because she is kind of crazy. I must have apologized to Jesse like 400 times. I texted Judy that day and I was just like, hey, if I don't answer your text, it's because I'm out here in, you know, LA and I'm busy. So I'm trying to just take a little break from my phone. Okay, that was a lie. That's just how I chose to deal with it. I didn't want to be like, hey, don't text me anymore, I don't want to talk to you. I didn't want to do all that. I just needed a break. It seems like as soon as I said that, Judy just felt the need to text me and blow up my notifications nonstop. She was just blowing my phone up. If it wasn't text, it was Facebook messages, and if it wasn't that, it was VMs, or she was tagging me in Vines. And finally one day I texted her and I was just like, listen, I said I need a break. She still wouldn't let it go. It was one night I was sitting here watching a movie and she started tagging me in Vines again, and I didn't answer her and I didn't acknowledge them and I didn't comment back. Well, then she started getting other people to VM me and say, hey, Judy was just wondering if you're getting her messages because you're not answering her. She want to make sure your phone's working okay. And I was like, I have told her that I'm taking a break. I've told her I don't really want to talk right now. And the more she would do this, I got so frustrated. But I still didn't say anything. I just let it go. Then there was one Sunday afternoon. I was laying in bed, I was watching Netflix, and my phone starts going off. And it's Judy. Judy couldn't get my attention the nice way, so she started to get angry with me. And the way that she chose to show that she was angry with me was to start making Vines and tagging me and tagging the one who shall not be named, who she knows harassed me. And I was like, I am trying to watch Netflix and I'm about to rip your asshole out. So I commented back to her and told her the truth about why I had not been speaking to her. You're insane. You embarrassed the shit out of me in front of my friends. And we all slept with the door locked because we thought you were going to kill us all in our sleep. And then I said, now go do an interpretive dance about how upset you are. And please fuck off because I do not have time for your bullshit anymore. Well, then she had another meltdown in her normal Judy fashion. And she went on a binge of Vines about me like she always does that lasted 3-4 weeks. And then I think she deleted her Vine, but I can't say for sure because I don't really keep up with her that much. Months went by and I am so stupid because I started talking to Judy again. I know, don't judge me. I know I have a character flaw and I forgive people way too easily. I even took up for Judy on Vine when it came to that dude that was dating her, who wouldn't tell anybody he was dating her, and then it turns out that his name was not even what he told her his name was. But Judy is just very special and has what I believe to be a lot of problems. The main thing is that I tried to be her friend. I tried to be there for her. Even after the way she treated me, like for no reason and for a very long time, something in me told me that she needed a friend, and I really did try to be a friend to her. She left Vine for a long time, and there's like a lot of other stuff in here that I'm not putting in just because the story would go on and on and on forever. And really the purpose of this video was just to tell you how I met her and how she ended up at Jesse's house that night, which was all my fault. It's just a fucked up situation. She even went so far as to write a book about me and Jesse. I tried to skim through it, but it was really bad. It was like a word salad. Word salad is a term that mental health specialists use for psych patients who just, they talk and they don't really put their words together, and it's just like a bunch of words that don't go together. But it makes sense to that person who's saying those things, but it does not make sense to the person who's sitting there and trying to understand what they're saying. I don't understand exactly where she was going with it or what the fuck she was saying. As Jesse said, it's not a book. She just shit on a Word document and put it on Kindle. And I really gotta stop being nice to people who aren't nice to me. I know they say, you know, turn the other cheek and stuff, but when you turn the other cheek, then you with Judy running into a pole in the fucking middle of the street, and it's just not a good situation. On any given day, you can go look at Judy's Vine and she is still talking about me and Jesse. I think she acts like she's so upset about it, but I really fucking think she loves the attention. Judy, no. Anyway, guys, that's my story about how I met Judy. Let me talk about my shirt for a minute. I write for Project Consent. It says paws off. You know, like, don't touch my titties unless I tell you to. Project Consent. If you've never seen the videos of the little dancing dicks and vaginas, you got to go look at that shit. Our mission is to raise awareness about sexual assault, rape culture, and also to talk about what is consent, what is not consent. We sell these t-shirts, and I'll put that link below, and if you buy a t-shirt, the money goes toward Project Consent and helps us to raise more awareness and to get the word out. So anyway, I know I kind of jumped around, but when it comes to Judy, I swear to God, my brain is just like, Judy, no! So anyway, my next video is going to be all about Jesse, how I met Jesse, different places I've been with Jesse, different things I've done with Jesse, different funny stories about Jesse. I'm going to put up some vines showing behind the scenes with Jesse, and so watch my next video because it's going to be all about Jesse. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Everybody have a good day. Bye. Something doesn't feel right. I think something's in my ass. Something's in my ass.